Are you thinking about moving to Tucson, Arizona, and you want to know about the best suburbs that Tucson has to offer? Well, you probably need to check out our channel, but today I'm going to take you through one of Tucson's top suburbs and show you a couple different neighborhoods and give you an idea of a few different houses that are currently on the market so you can decide if this area is the best for you. Let's get to it. If you're new to this channel and want to learn everything from A to Z about living in Tucson, AZ, then click subscribe and tap that bell for notifications so you can be the first to learn about the current market in Tucson, Arizona. Hi, I'm Dustin Smith. My wife Jennifer and I have helped hundreds of people just like you move to and from Tucson, Arizona. So whether you're moving in 12 days, 12 weeks, or 12 months, we got you covered. Give us a call, shoot us a text or an email so we can help you make that smooth move to Tucson. Today, we're going to look around the Tanque Verde area and kind of show you just a few houses out here. And today I kind of picked out some more unique homes. There are a few subdivisions around here, but Tanque Verde is a really old outstretch of Tucson. So you have a lot of older ranch homes in the area. You got a few ranches, you have horse property. You do have a couple golf course communities. We're not gonna go into those today, but that is gonna make a great video. We're actually gonna do a golf course community video for you guys down the road. So, be on the lookout for that one. I'm out here in the Tanque Verde area. And if you're not familiar with Tanque Verde, which you probably are by now if you've been watching our channel, we tend to favor this area a lot just because there's so much here. There's so much to do. It's so pretty over here. And the houses really resonate with what we like as well. So Tanque Verde is actually going to be northeast of Tucson. Most of Tanque Verde is, unincorporated, or pretty much all of Tanque Verde is unincorporated, not actually part of the city of Tucson. So we're kind of nestled between the Catalina Mountains and the Rincon Mountains, both, gorgeous mountain ranges. It's kind of start off in the desert and, work your way up to full-blown pine trees, areas where you might actually see some snow in the winter. So just adds that, beautiful touch of scenery. And because you have those mountain ranges nearby, when we have snowfall or we have rainfall, these areas do have some good washes or creeks that tend to run. So even though we're in the desert, this is an area where you're a little more likely to see water. So I'm over here at Agua Caliente Park, which is in the Tanque Verde area. You do have quick access up to Mount Lemmon, to the town of Summerhaven up there, and all the hiking trails and beauty on the way up Mount Lemmon. You also have access to Reddington Road out here, which there's some great 4x4 trails, or just a nice area to go explore some national forest out that direction too. There's so much to do in Tanque Verde. We do have more videos about the Tanque Verde area, so I'm not going to get too into the weeds on that today. But if you want to know more about Tanque Verde, check out our channel on that too. We have basically everything you would want to know about the area. Right now, there's 93 homes listed in the Tanque Verde area, and those are going to range in price from $375,000 for a beautiful single-family home over in the lakes at Castle Rock. Now, that is just a gorgeous community. We do have another video on that as well. All the way up to a $3.6 million, 6,000 square foot home and ranch. That is the home that's actually just a couple blocks over, or just probably one block over from Agua Caliente right here. In the last 6 months, 103 homes have sold, and those range in price from $385,000 up to $1,660,000. So definitely a lot going on over in Tanque Verde. A lot of options out here. Some stuff that that a lot of people can look at as competitive to other suburbs in the area, and then there's just some stuff in truly unique and beautiful areas out here too. So let's kind of look around and get a feel for Tanque Verde. All right, first neighborhood I'm in right now is the Tres Lomas neighborhood. So this isn't necessarily the the entry-level price point for the Tanque Verde area, But this is like a great example of just some of the beautiful neighborhoods that are within the Tanque Verde area. So this area is a little bit further to the west than Agua Caliente, where I started off. So a little bit closer to the city, but still lots of space over here. So first example, or the home that I have an example for the Tres Lomas behind me, is currently listed with Long Realty. It was built in 1976, 1,779 square foot. 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home sitting on 0.77 acres. So just a little bit over 3/4 of an acre right there. We actually have a couple friends that live just a couple doors down from here. Super nice couple, hairdresser, husband works on radio towers. And they can tell you that there's a lot of like freedom in this neighborhood. And even though all the neighbors are super nice, no one's very nosy, at least around them, specifically. People are happy with their privacy. That's one of the reasons that people are moving out here. Have some elbow room. You can still park your boat or your RV on the property. You got rooms for guest houses, and you have just stunning mountain views right here too. So overall, this is a neighborhood that I personally would love to live in, and maybe when we move, this might be the kind of neighborhood that we're eyeing for our next home. So I've got a couple more examples of the Tanque Verde area just to give you a sample, but remember, this is not all there is to Tanque Verde. We have so many more examples of what you can get in Tanque Verde, but this is going to be a fun video. Let's keep going. I'm now over here in Snyder Canyon Estate. Now we bumped up the price a little bit, so this home currently listed with Tucson Property Executives at $894,000. Now Snyder Canyon Estates is about 3 or 4 miles further to the north of Tres Lomas, where we just were. So we're just that much closer to the mountains. They absolutely look huge from the front yard in this home right here. So definitely a huge advantage when you get further to the north. The mountains just start taking up more and more of your view off to that direction. So this home is sitting on 0.82 acres, so just a little bit larger of a lot than the last one. And then of course, since you have more desert around the home and your neighbors have large lots, definitely feels like you've got a lot of space. And this is a cul-de-sac home too. I think you might have noticed that when I turned around and show you the mountains, but we're at the end of the street right here. There's no through traffic. It's not just a roundabout. That's, a legitimate cul-de-sac right there. This home also has a stunning pool and hot tub in the backyard. So it does have a walled in, smaller backyard for your privacy, enjoyment, place to have, the puppy out to, or the kids. You just have that, secured space, and then the rest of the property as a buffer to it. So 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms on this home, built in 1998. So definitely a smaller community right here, but a little bit newer, a little bit closer to the mountains. Just overall, gorgeous, well cared for. Everyone has, beautiful desert landscaping in this neighborhood too. Things are really, really, just cleaned up and in great shape around here. But I'm gonna show you guys one more home in the Tanque Verde area, just to kind of give you, a broader picture of what's going on here. So let's go. All right, I am at our final house of the day, topping off what is gonna be our tour for Tanque Verde today. And I've got a confession. I showed up here, I checked out the address, I'm looking up the driveway, and I see, that beautiful home up on the hill right there. And I'm like, okay, that looks right. Like everything looks like it's adding up well. That's actually not the house that I had prepared for this video today. The house that, I prepared for is actually recessed back in there in between those rocks, hidden away from the road. So we're talking about 2 totally different houses. But as it happens to be, the house up on the hill right there, the closest neighbor, is also for sale. So might as well give you a little bit of information about both of those homes right now. So the one that I came up here to talk to you guys about today is currently listed with Long Realty at $1.5 million. It's 4,065 square foot, 4 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, and it's sitting on almost 6 acres, like 5.92 acres. And I mean, all the land around here, you have these, giant rocks, you have saguaros, you have prickly pear, you have all the natural desert landscaping out here. You have, I mean, you're recessed into like the mountain itself. Like this is more so like kind of the base of the Catalinas, but this is actually where the Catalinas and the Rincons meet together. So if we look that way, that's, you know, those are the Rincon Mountains off that direction. Mount Mica off over that way. And you know, this $1.5 million home right here is actually a Reddington Road address, and Tanque Verde Road actually turns into Reddington Road as you approach the Rincon Mountains right there. And then you get into the National Forest off that direction too. And it's just, you know, it's a beautiful place to go explore. This is actually Tucson famous, right? Everybody has, or not everybody, but a lot of people, especially people that have lived in Tucson a long time, have gone exploring out that way. Monsoons and snow melt, there'll actually be some areas to go, you know, check out some waterfalls. You know, if you're into cliff jumping, you can do that. There's also some awesome 4x4 trails, some Jeep trails out there. Chiva Falls, people really love that. Great camping spots. I mean, just a lot of, you know, outdoor adventure off in that direction. And you know, speaking of Tucson famous, one of our claims to fame, there's not like a lot of celebrities in the Tucson area, at least not that everybody talks about, but one of the big ones when I was younger was Paul McCartney had a house about a mile down that way. And, you know, we were always really proud, like that, you know, Paul McCartney loved Tucson, that it was even mentioned in his songs, you know, get back to where you once belonged. But yeah, he sold that house several years ago, but people still kind of talk about that. We had Chuck Norris over off of Speedway for a while. You know, legend is it has that he had that house built and actually never visited that, you know, beautiful home off of Speedway. Yeah, so going back to the house that we're here to talk about today, the $1.5 million house, when you go into it, you know, it's absolutely stunning on the inside. It's a Southwestern design. It really like screams like, you know, welcome to the Sonoran Desert, welcome to Tucson. You've got Saltillo tiles for the floor. You've got Talavera tiles in the kitchen. You have saguaro ribbed cabinetry in there. Some of the cabinets have these saguaro ribbed accents, and that's actually, you know, quite popular if you're trying to add a Southwestern touch. And there's exposed wood beams in there, and they've even gone as far as to, you know, in between some of the wood beams in the house, inlay it with saguaro ribs. So they've just done a fantastic job designing the home, and this one was built in 1994. Now, I mentioned that house on the hill caught my attention when I first came up here, and then it's also for sale. So the house up on the hill right there, you don't access from this driveway. You actually access it from, you know, a street just off to the west over there, and, you know, its own separate driveway right there. That house is definitely quite a bit different. That one's got a little bit more like modern touches to it, lots of whites, grays, wooden floor in there. There are some areas with tile floor in there too. You have about 7.23 acres. You have that nice flattened spot back there. I don't know if you can see that very well from this perspective right here, but they got palm trees back there, you know, just a beautiful oasis. And on this one, they've kind of traded off a little bit of privacy so they can capture more of those mountain views. So even though that, you know, that home's more visible from the road right here, they've decided they want that feeling of openness. They want to be able to look across that vast expanse over to the Rincon Mountains. So, you know, definitely just, you know, very, very different design touches to these homes right there. That house on the hill, 7,123 square foot, sitting on just over 7.2 acres. They're asking $2,100,000 for that property. And you know, that it's been recently remodeled. There's so much space there. I think there's a lot of value for the money. It wouldn't be too surprising, I think, if somebody came through and they were shopping in a, you know, higher like $3 to $4 million price range, if they actually scooped up both of these homes, came in at 3.6, had about 13 acres of land and over 11,000 square foot of home space right there. So pretty neat to see, you know, these two beautiful luxury homes right next to each other, built a few years apart, very different design features, but both kind of, you know, right here in this, you know, absolute beautiful area of Tanque Verde, one of the most beautiful areas of Tucson in general. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, found it useful. If you did, make sure to hit that like button if you haven't already, and click subscribe, tap that bell for notifications. We'll do our best to keep you updated on the current market in Tucson, Arizona. We've got some great videos coming your way, so look out for those as well. And if you or someone you know is thinking about moving to or from Tucson, Arizona, we want to be the ones to help you. Give us a call, shoot us a text or an email. We'll help you make that smooth move. Thanks again. See you next time.